Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Got a cool motion tutorial for us today. I'm going to go through it slow so you all can follow along, and here's what it's going to end up looking like. We got us a cool little mosaic. We can change our speed. And as you can see, the picture, if you notice the eagle, the picture in the background is zooming up. Okay? And it's just a cool little mosaic. We're going to adjust our emitters, and you can set all of this to taste, of course. It's completely up to you. Now I got a few more emitters coming out here, and it looks pretty good, I think. It's a good looking little mosaic. So let's get into a new project. Let's close this down. I'm going to go to my file browser, and I'm going to bring in a photo. Okay, here we go. I'm going to scale this photo up just a tad so it fits my screen, like that. Okay, now we're set up to go. Let's open up our project pane. And now we have this group with our photograph in it, or you can also use a movie. It's completely up to you. So we're going to name this group Image. This way it's going to help us keep track of all of our groups, because we do not want to lose track of our groups. Trust me, I've done that, and it gets so hard if you have everything named Group 1, Group 2. Okay? So now let's go ahead and add a new group above our picture group. Let's add a new group. As you can see, that adds a new group in there. Okay? Now we're going to call this group Mask. So let's go ahead and name it Mask. M-A-S-K. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the R key to activate my rectangle tool. And I'm going to come over here and draw me a square right in the center of my picture here. Okay? I'm going to call up my HUD. Everything looks good. I'm going to check my drop shadow. So give my shape a drop shadow if you notice. Okay? Let me close my HUD down. And now make sure you got the same thing I got. Two groups. One with a rectangle with drop shadow turned on, named Mask. The group on the bottom is the image group with just your image or movie in it. Okay, now with your rectangle still selected, we're going to press the E key, or you can go up to Make Particle button in the toolbar. Okay, so let's say Make Particles, and that will turn our rectangle into an emitter, if you notice. Okay, let's turn our shape to line, like so. Okay, now let's go down to our start point and put -400 and 250. Okay, now on our end point, we're going to put -400, okay, and -250. Okay, are you with me so far? Let's go on down and set a few more. Let's set our emission angle to 180. Now let's set our emission range to just 13 degrees. We're going to go on down and find our birth rate, and we're going to put that to 12. So our birth rate is on 30 now. We're going to change it to 12. Life is 5. That's pretty good. We might need to change that. And let's make our speed 160. Now all these numbers are relative. You can adjust them to taste. Let's go on down to our color mode. We're going to say pick from range, and we're going to make it rainbow. Well, not radioactive, rainbow. Like so. Excuse me. Now, because we want to start with the screen full of boxes, with the playhead parked on frame 1, I'm going to drag the emitter behavior to the left until all the boxes fill up the screen, you know, or the, not emitter behavior, but the emitter itself. Take it and drag it. And when I do that, you'll see that all these boxes are coming, and I'm going to drag this back to about right there, like that. So we got a pretty full screen, and you can even manipulate these however you want, stretch them out, because they are just shapes, right? So they don't have to be perfect squares. You could be using circles, you know, for all I really care that you're doing with it. It's completely up to you. So now we have our frame full of these multicolored boxes. Okay. So now we're going to click on our image group. So select your image group, okay? Now with the playhead on frame 1, which it should be because we haven't moved it, we're going to press the K key to create a clone layer. So hit K, and boom. Now we have a clone layer right in the middle of our mask and image group. Now we're going to click on our group, and we're going to make the scale 110. So now we're going to click on the clone layer itself inside the group, and we're going to add a filter to it, and it's going to be a desaturate filter. So let's add filter, color correction, desaturate. Okay, pretty simple. Now let's click on the color group. Now we're going to add a mask to this group, okay, with the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-M. Now that adds an image mask in the group with our clone layer, okay? Let's go ahead and rename this group to color. Now we have this image mask, and inside this image mask we're going to drag our mask group. Now when I do that, you notice it deactivates our mask group. Let's go ahead and click it and turn it back on. Okay? So now we're going to select that group, go to Properties, Blend Mode, Overlay. I'm going to change that to Overlay, and that's going to give us a really nice look. Now finally, we're going to select our original image. Okay? We're going to go to Add Behavior, Basic Motion, Grow Shrink. Now you can set this to your liking, okay? It's completely up to you. Let's go ahead and zoom it pretty good. Okay, now we have our image, and you can see our background image and everything, but our emitters are just going crazy. So let's go ahead and adjust our emitters. Let's make our emitter range 360 and hit play. Now we're getting a little bit more random here, okay? And you can go in here and we can adjust our birth rate if we want to up our birth rate, like so. And of course, you want to go into your emitters tab, and you can adjust, and now you can start playing around with your settings like circle. Now we have circle. Let's go back to the beginning here, which I think gives us a really good look. Okay, so let's go ahead and let it play through here, and then I'm going to set an out point. That there is good. And now, as you can see, we got a wonderful mosaic. Our picture in the background is scaling forward slowly. Of course, you can adjust this with your grow shrink behavior. It depends on how much you want it to grow and shrink. There's also a few other things you can do to randomize it up. Let's go to our mask group, select our original rectangle, and let's select outline. Let's make the color of our outline black. Now, as you can see, we got a little outline around our boxes. Okay, pretty nice looking little effect there. If you don't like the outline, you can turn it off. But I don't think the outline is too bad, to be honest with you. We can maybe turn the opacity down so it's not quite as prominent. And I think that looks maybe better with an outline, actually. Okay? Now, there's still all kinds of stuff you can do. You can even maybe add a blur. Let's go over here to View or Render. Let's say Motion Blur, like so. Now, it's going to slow down performance dramatically, but it's going to give us a little bit of motion blur there from our boxes. We can also select our rectangle. Let's add a filter, blur. Let's add a Gaussian blur to it. Now let's play. Let's turn off motion blur there, and let's hit play. Now we're getting a blur. It's kind of clear, yet we're getting kind of a nice blur mosaic there. So as you can see, there's all kinds of cool little things you can do to spruce up this effect. I hope you get the gist of this. I think this is a really, really nifty looking little trick here. And maybe you all can incorporate it into some of your own projects. And here we go with our final image. All I did here was go in and adjust my start point and end point. I just fooled with them until I found the look that I wanted. And now we got a pretty good mosaic going on here. Get in there, experiment with it, and see what you can come up with. If you find something interesting and cool, send it to a video response. I'll approve it immediately, and we can let everybody else check out your work too. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've learned something.